I think I woke up from some kind of crazy nightmare. The New England Patriots were 2-2 and had one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. The New York Jets, who I predicted to go 1-15, are already 2-2. The Buffalo Bills have a 3-1 record with quality wins over Atlanta and Denver and lead the division. The Los Angeles Chargers are 0-4. The Super Bowl predicted New York Giants are 0-4 with Odell Beckham and Eli, and the Los Angeles Rams are 3-1. I must be crazy, right? What? But you're serious? Are you kidding me? What? The Rams are 3-1 and over the Seahawks? No! Yes, we're not in a dream or a nightmare or a fantasy. The Los Angeles Rams are 3-1. And while those other things in the AFC East are 100% true, and that might be the topic of next week's video, I want to focus on the Los Angeles Rams because this one seems to be the most surprising. Yes, to me, this is the most surprising team being 3-1. And you got to question where the Rams are and if they're really legitimate. Los Angeles Rams are head coached by Sean McVay, first-year head coach, formerly an offensive coordinator to the Washington Redskins. And he's brought something new to this table that I didn't think was possible for the Los Angeles Rams. Coming into the season, I had them predicted as 2-14, the worst team in this division, even behind the San Francisco 49ers. And Sean McVay has proven me wrong every single week. But first, let's look over the team's first 4 games to see how we got to this point of the Los Angeles Rams being 3-1 and first in their division. So here are the Rams' first 4 games of the season. They started off their season opener in LA, beating and destroying the Indianapolis Colts 46-9. This game really didn't have much flavor to it. We were shocked that they scored 46 points, but it was against the Indianapolis Colts with Scott Tolzien, one of the worst teams you'll ever see. I'm not exaggerating. That's one of the worst teams you'll see in a very, very long time. So when this came out, yes, it was shocking to see the Rams score 46 points, more than 5 times the amount of points the Colts did. And it was nice to see their defense only gave up 9 points, but still, it wasn't that impressive of a victory. Then in Game 2, they lost to the Washington Redskins 27-20. Now, Washington's been one of the better teams of the NFC so far. I mean, we still don't know about tonight. This is getting uploaded in halftime of the Monday Night Football game, but still, they lost to a pretty impressive team so far, with Chris Thompson having his breakout game. They almost won this game, though. They had many opportunities. The defense wasn't able to step it up, though, and that's what cost them the game. But the offense looked pretty decent. That's where Jared Goff started to get some attention as being one of the better quarterbacks of the 2017 season. Surprisingly enough, I didn't expect it either, but he's looking pretty decent, and this game kind of showed that he had some potential with that great passer rating of his. Then we got to the Thursday Night Football game, one of the craziest Thursday Night Football games that has been played since the system came in. And trust me when I say I was not expecting 80 points, which is the most points scored in a Thursday Night Football game since its creation. The Rams came out hot. Jared Goff came out hot, and they won this football game. Their defense still struggled, gave up 39 points and over 300 yards to Brian Hoyer, but still played pretty good football and gave them a 2-1 lead in the division because the Seattle Seahawks were 1-2. So, through 3 games, I was thinking, well, this is the 49ers and the Colts, but still, they're winning football games. And then, yes, the Dallas Cowboys had to feel the wrath. The Rams yesterday beat the Cowboys 35-30. It was really a tale of 2 halves. The first half, the Cowboys were dominating, scoring points left and right, having good drives. So the 4 possessions that they had, they scored on every drive, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. But in the second half, I don't know if it was Sean McVay, I don't know if it was Jared Goff, I don't know if it was the defense, or I don't know if it was Todd Gurley, but somebody woke up that team and realized they have a shot to go 3-1 in this division. And seeing how Seattle has struggled, this could be the perfect opportunity to strike and make an impact on the main stage. They beat America's team. They came back. They had a great performance in the second half, Todd Gurley especially, and won this football game in impressive fashion. Now, as a Cowboys fan, it's very disheartening to see this, but they went out there and beat the Cowboys, who have been looking shady in the first 4 games, but it's still been looked at as one of the better teams at football. And now, all of a sudden, the Rams are 3-1. So, who on the staff made this possible? First, you got to start off with the quarterback, Jared Goff. I mean, I did not have high expectations for this guy. I did not think he was a good quarterback, and I'm still a little sketchy on him, but looking through the first quarter stats of the season, this guy's looking good. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards. He's already matched his touchdown total from last season, and it took him about 3.5 games to do it, where he did it in 7 games last year for 5 touchdowns. He already has 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a QB rating of 112. Yeah, you heard me right, 112. It's one of the best in the NFL. So Jared Goff's getting it done. That's going to be needed for the Los Angeles Rams to win football games. Then you have the head coach, 31 years old. Sean McVay is doing something right. I mean, he's the youngest head coach in NFL history. He's getting them to high explosive plays, something that we haven't seen from the Rams organization. They've been very lackluster. And now they're averaging over 35 points a game. Yeah, you heard me right. Through 4 games, they're averaging 35.3 points per game. That's going to win you football games, even though if your defense is subpar. Wait, New England? No, but I mean, the guy's making good play calls, good decisions. Liking him as a head coach, he's doing pretty well. Then we have one of my favorite receivers in the game right now, Cooper Kupp. This is their number 1 receiver right now as a rookie. And yeah, that's weird considering they have Sammy Watkins on the roster, but they really haven't been using him to his full potential. So Cooper Kupp has had to step up. And that's a great punchline. But yeah, he's been doing pretty well. I mean, he's been Jared Goff's number 1 receiver threat, and I like to see that. And this guy is getting potential. He has potential to do something. And through 4 games, he's lived up to the hype. Then we have Todd Gurley. This is something that we haven't talked about. We have not talked about Todd Gurley a lot, but man, he deserves a lot of praise. Yesterday against the Dallas Cowboys, he led his team in rushing and receiving yards and was doing a pretty good job of exposing the Dallas secondary. And granted, they're pretty shit, but he's still doing pretty good. He did that against the Cowboys. He had a really good game against the 49ers. He started to come back against the Redskins. He's looking like his old self again, and that's something the Rams desperately need on offense. They need somebody to be very explosive for them in the run game, and they're explosive enough already as it is, but they need this guy, Todd Gurley, to get it done and use him the correct way because he was highly coveted when he came in. Didn't have a great last season, but this season he's looking good. So they have the good pieces, but what's the rest of the season entail? So here's the rest of the Los Angeles Rams schedule, and look, predicting these games is almost impossible. I get it. The NFL's been pretty crazy this year, but we're just going to look over it and see if they can win these football games, okay? First, they're playing the Seattle Seahawks. I think this is their most important game, honestly. Until we get to the last couple of weeks, this is one of their most important games to win because it's the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle is down 1 game to the Rams. They could tie them in the division if the Seahawks win this football game. But they're in LA, so they have a great chance to win this football game. They're actually currently favored right now by 2.5 points. So, interesting game here. It's for the division right now. Then they play the Jaguars, who I have no idea what their identity is right now. It's very, very confusing, and they lost to the Jets, so I don't know. Then they play the Cardinals, who have been one of the most inconsistent 2-2 teams you'll ever find. They play the Giants, who are currently 0-4 and not that very talented. Then they play the Texans, which might be a shootout, like a legendary shootout, considering the Texans know how to score a lot of points. Then they play the Vikings. If they get Sam Bradford, this could be a very good matchup. You don't really know. Then they play the Saints, who have been very confusing. I actually don't know what this team is all about exactly, like with the Jaguars. They're also 2-2. Then they play the Cardinals again. Like I said, Carson Palmer might be aging. He might be out by that point. You never know. Then they play the Eagles, who've been one of the more impressive 3-1 teams to start. Been having a very hot start with Carson Wentz. That could be a good matchup towards the end of the season. Play the Seahawks in Seattle. If they get that win and win the first matchup against these two, and be 2-0 against the Seahawks, that's a killer. You'll win the division right there. Almost guaranteed. Then they play the Titans, who have been very shaky. I really don't know about this team, considering they can score and then get pelted on by points. And then they play the 49ers one more time, which was an interesting matchup the first time. They scored 80 points. I don't think that's going to happen, but interesting games for them to end the season. This team could honestly make the playoffs. They could be the winners of this division. And if Seattle comes back and makes a run for it, this team could still be a wild card team. Look for the Los Angeles Rams. That high octane offense continues. This team could win games. The Rams could be legit. So that is going to do it for this video. It's a different kind of video. I wasn't expecting to do this one, but I wanted to talk about the Rams. I wanted to see what you guys think about this team. Are they contenders? Are they pretenders? We are 4 games through the season, so technically they are 1/4 of the way through their schedule. But this is an interesting team that scored 14 points last year and now scores 35.5. I'm sorry, I said 35.3. Earlier on, it's 35.5. Tell me what you guys think about the Rams. Comment below your thoughts on the Los Angeles Rams. Are they contenders? Are they pretenders? Can they beat the Seattle Seahawks next week and win this division? Subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL content. A lot, and I mean a lot of NFL content on the way. We have NFL videos pretty much every day. Today was my topic video. We're doing Monday Night Football as well. It's being uploaded in halftime on Monday Night Football. So if you guys are enjoying the game, chat about that as well. But we'll be on for the recap of that. We'll have more NFL topic videos on the way. Tomorrow is our recap, our weekly recap of the NFL. Wednesdays are predictions. Thursday's Thursday Night Football. Friday or Saturday is the betting show with Mitch and Adam, and then Sundays are the NFL AM show and our Sunday Night Football recaps. So join us for more NFL content. Subscribe if you're not already. For Dylan at the Bottom Line View.